Hey, how's it going, everybody? Happy Valentine's Day. We got February the 14th, 2025. We'll head across Clark Street here. Hey, we're up to 20 degrees. It feels pretty good. I took the morning off because, see, I don't want to film the kids there. There's the little preschool kids are about to cross the street, and see how they hold the line there, and they cross. I didn't realize this went on until the pandemic, and I worked from home for several years, as a lot of us did. That the kids they usually cross the line and they sing a song. There's a lot of preschools around here, and so every day I could see like the kids walking by there, and they're heading. A lot of times they'll go to the park, and see they're heading back to the preschool there. So here we'll head down Clark Street. And we're going to go past the St. Valentine's Day Massacre site there. So, signs of daily life here. We'll go by the five guys from Clark and Fullerton here. Nelios, how you doing there? Happy Valentine's Day, hopeful and blessed. Henri Cuss there. Yeah, the child tether. Yeah, they all hold that line. Sometimes they'll sing a song and they'll like wave to the cars. It's so cute. David, how you doing there? Chris, thanks for tuning in there. And hopeful and blessed, Teresa B, Chris. We got two Chris's. Dave in Chicago. Yeah, David Okoa there. Thanks for tuning in. So, hey, we're on Clark Street. The sidewalk still kind of needs to be cleaned. My gimbal's still snapping around here. Hopefully I don't have to get a new gimbal here. I do have a backup gimbal, but it has problems too. This is a new restaurant, Anatola. Here's Miskas Liquors here. This is an interesting building here. It's an Art Deco building. This is the back of it. That's the back of the Patricians here, the Big Apple. This is the alley that Neo's used to be. Remember the nightclub Neo's? There used to be a nightclub there called Neo's. There used to be a sign right there where that security dome is, camera, but nothing lasts. Hey, how you doing there, Taco? And happy Valentine's Day, everybody there. Teresa B. Yeah, sweetheart day. See, my gimbal's all acting up here. Krista, how you doing there? Sharon, Dave in Chicago. Yeah, Skokie. What's going on in Skokie? Let's see, I missed that. Big water main break? You had to leave for work? Oh, I'll have to... See, I was working, and the news was in the background, but I had it on mute, so I didn't see that. I probably would have saw that if I would watch the news. The news comes on at 11 here. Usually it's noon Eastern time zone. Here's the... thanks for the news there. Water main break in Skokie. Here's the Reby moving and storage here. And we film this all the time on TikTok. We walk down past here, beginning in my TikToks here, but I'll get you a better view. But so we might get more snow tonight. It's got 22 degrees here. We'll go by Ravens. This is Clark Street. Hey, look at this. Here's the fire. Here's the fire cakes. That's the little fire cakes truck there that drives around. But hey, look, fireproof construction. There's the Reby moving and storage. The beautiful Egyptian pharaohs there. And see, Egyptian revival architecture. Remember, we found that one on Sheridan. It looks just like this. And so I think I know what's going on. I think I got a button hit wrong here. So excuse me one second while we look at Ravens. Let me turn off my gimbal, make sure it's back. I'm gonna turn it back on and see if we can get this thing smoother here. Lorraine, how you doing there? So now we're crooked, but that's okay. Let me start it again. Let me do it one more time here. Always technical difficulties, always bandwidth issues like yesterday we cut out. There's always something that just constantly throws you for a loop, no matter what you do. Hey, Haris, Nelios, yeah, Chris. Yeah, let's keep the conversation positive. What are people saying here? I didn't even see what they said. Maybe is Johnny still in there? I didn't even see what they said. Yeah, so no matter what we're going to do, we're going to have people that are naysayers. They're just kind of reflecting the negativity they got in their own life here. We'll head down Belden here, Belden and Clark here. So, thanks to my mods here. So here we'll head straight down to the St. Valentine's Day Massacre site. I know you've already heard it so many times. I posted that rerun from a year ago. You'll notice there wasn't any snow on the ground. That's because I re-edited the footage from last year. It popped up on my this year, on this day thing, and man, this is so frustrating. This gimbal is driving me nuts here. Excuse me a second, I'm going to shut it off again. I think what happened was I extended it and then it messed up like the calibration. They get out of whack. I have to like recalibrate it here, so let's see if I can get this thing off here. So this is what it looks like when I don't use a gimbal. Here, we'll snap this thing in here. Hey, they're working on this fencing here. There we go. Even on Valentine's Day, we get people. That's par for the course. Somebody on social media said before they were a social media social media influencer with hundreds of thousands of followers, and they said as your exposure grows, you're naturally going to run into people that don't like your content, and they just get frustrated that the algorithm keeps feeding you your content. And so some of the times people are just like, I might have popped up on their For You page or YouTube or whatever, and then they're like, I don't want to see this guy anymore, and so if they don't block me, I'll keep popping up, especially if they live in Chicago, and then they'll just start being like, it's like if you see a politician on your TV screen too many times, and you're just get him off the TV, and it just, then you like change the channel. And that's why I try to encourage people, if I do that, I know I can be annoying my voice there, change the channel. It won't bother me. There's plenty of other things to watch. And for you, those that appreciate it, thanks for understanding here. So, hey, Anita, thanks for being on here. Hey, Nick's tuning in from Jamaica. That is awesome. See, we're tuning in, people all over the world there. Thanks, Nick's will travel there. I like the flag there. Yeah, thanks for the little emojis there. Hey, riding the bike, 22 degrees Fahrenheit. What is that? -5 centigrade. Here we are at Clark and Webster, Lincoln Park, Chicago. Happy Valentine's Day. And if I missed anybody, thanks for tuning in here. There's the 36 bus. There's the 22 bus. So Webster, south of Webster, we're going to this block. See, here's where we're at here. Lincoln Park, Chicago. Isn't it nice they got a map here? North is this way. The lake's behind us. We're here. We started at Fullerton. We walked down Clark. This is the site of the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. It's in the middle of the block here on Clark Street. Oz Park's here. There's the North Branch Chicago River. Lakeview's that way. Downtown's this way. Lincoln Park, Chicago. So, and John Dillinger met his end right up here. That's where the Biograph. Oh, right here. That's where the Biograph Theater was. And then this was the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. So a lot of the Untouchable tours are always driving around here because there's a lot of Prohibition, gangland era violence from Chicago, and they made movies about this stuff, of course. Yeah, it's supposed to snow later. Yeah, it's supposed to snow like maybe after 7 o'clock tonight. I'll probably go on TikTok tonight because it's finally warmer, and I'll probably walk around Lakeview. I'll probably go up to Lincoln or something, and we'll go up towards Roscoe Village. I might not get to Roscoe Village, but we'll go up towards Southport and stuff. At least that's what I'm planning on doing. And I fully expect some snow to hit around there. So, but hey, look at this building here. So let's set up the whole thing here. And yeah, those maps are helpful there. Yeah, so this is this. I did a lot of research on this, especially since I'm not an expert on Prohibition history. I generalize things. You can look it up. There's good Wikipedia articles. Several books have been written about this. Movies, but the movies generalize too. You see how we got these Italianate buildings. We got this new infill housing that came later. That building was there. That's the Webster House. Some of these buildings were here. This building was not here when the St. Valentine. See, it's the Margaret Day Blake Apartments, 2140 North Clark Street. They built this building in 1968. There used to be the old pictures. There was warehouses and a bunch of storefronts and houses here, kind of like across the street there. and we lost them all. During the urban renewal period, they built this Chicago Housing Authority. I think this is a senior living facility, but it's apartments, and it's still. I mean, this is one of the rare. If you can get in this building, it's probably the most affordable option to live this close to the zoo and the park. Now renting there if you qualify for the Margaret Blake apartments there, and but here, yeah. So let's start the whole thing. The easiest way to remember it is where the Chicago Pizza and Oven Grinder is. I think that's 2121 North Clark Street. I think the actual address of the St. Valentine's Day Massacre that they list is 2122 North Clark Street. So I want to be able to cut this out. So let's get out in the street here just like we did. I want to be able to do a rerun here on YouTube. And thanks for being a live audience here. So Prince Mama Walde, Lorraine and Michael and Nelios, thanks. Karen, thanks for being on there. If I missed anybody, there you go. So, cars coming by here. Vehicles. Hey, there was a Malort truck. There's a Malort truck. So let's begin this. There's a Malort truck. Welcome to Chicago. There's the John Hancock. We're looking straight south on Clark Street. We're in the 2100 block of Clark Street, south of Webster, north of Dickens. Happy Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2025. So when it's Valentine's Day, I get to do the St. Valentine's Day Massacre spiel here. Here we are, 2122 North Clark Street. This is the general location of the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, one of the most infamous events that happened during Al Capone's reign of terror there during the Prohibition era of Chicago. And what it was is, of course, the North Side gangs would vie with the South Side gangs for liquor distribution rights during Prohibition. Of course, in 1920, Volstead Act, the United States amended the Constitution to make alcohol legal. Instead of making crime better, it made crime worse, because the mob syndicates already had racketeering. They actually gave more power to the criminals because people still drank, and so people couldn't get the alcohol legal. They had to go to illegal means. Speakeasy still had to be supplied with liquor. Watch Boardwalk Empire, Atlantic City, New York, Chicago, Detroit, a lot of other places. Kansas City was a pretty open town too at that time. The mobs would supply the liquor, and then they would fight for distribution rights, and that's what led to a lot of the gangland violence. This violence that led to the St. Valentine's Day Massacre was building for a long time. If you watch Boardwalk Empire, way back in 1924, Al Capone took out Dino Bannion. Dino Bannion was Irish, kind of ran the North Side gangs, which were more Irish. There were Italians and Polish and other people that were part of the North Side gangs. South Side gangs were dominated by the Italian Americans, the syndicates. Before Al Capone ran the South Side, which became the most powerful, Prohibition era gangs in Chicago for running liquor and racketeering, it was controlled by Joe Torrio. Joe Torrio was from the New York families. You watch The Godfather, it generalizes the Sicilian mobs and the Italian mobs that came to New York City, and then as New York grew, Chicago grew, they branched into Chicago to control the territories. Joe Torrio ran Chicago, and Al Capone started in Brooklyn, and then he came to Chicago later to work for. They're getting pictures there. Here they know what's going on today. The St. Valentine's Day Massacre here, and in the middle of the 1920s, there was many attempts against Joe Torrio. He was almost mortally wounded, killed during the mid-1920s, so he kind of retired, and he gave the reins to Al Capone, who was his lead henchman at the time. And Al Capone consolidated his power and started taking out his rivals, which at first was Dino Bannion, which they successfully put an end to him. He ran the flower shop across from the Holy Name Cathedral there. And we walked by that on State Street by the One Chicago Tower. It's just south of Chicago Avenue. It's now a Whole Foods. You can go into Whole Foods and go to the buy some flowers for Valentine's Day. And remember, Dino Bannion used to have a flower shop there. When his funeral happened, there were so many flowers, they wouldn't let him be, the Holy Name wouldn't let him be, in the church there. So I don't know where they had the funeral, but they said the flowers were legendary. Then after that, it was Jaime Weiss, and then it was Vincent Trucci, and they took those out, and yeah, they're taking more pictures. They're taking pictures of the St. Valentine's Day Massacre on Valentine's Day. Look how there's a ghost sign back there. Hey, Dolores Sharon, thanks for tuning in. We're doing the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Thanks for tuning in here. And this is the site. So as I show on TikTok here, you know, look at these people walking by here. Hey, St. Valentine's Day Massacre. It's a great site here. Yeah. Yeah, and so you can see up there used to be a warehouse there, and there that was the roof line. See, 2120, this is 2122. It used to be a warehouse. It was a garage. It was an auto mechanic that sometimes did work for Bugs Moran's gang. So by the time you got to 1929, Bugs Moran ran the North Side gang. He had a bunch of henchmen that were fighting Al Capone. Bugs Moran, some of his enforcers tried to take out Machine Gun McGurn. Machine Gun McGurn ran the Green Mill. Remember how we showed the Green Mill up there in Uptown? You still got the sign there. Machine Gun McGurn wasn't, that shows you Machine Gun McGurn was not part of the Northside gangs, because the Northside gangs tried to take him out. He was kind of a independent operator that tried to have his own little thing there. And now, and after the Northside gang, he became more allied with Al Capone. And that's why Al Capone probably did go to the Green Mill. It was probably much after the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, because it would have been really hard for him to show his face up there when Bugs Moran. This severely weakened Bugs Moran, because 6 members of his gang were assassinated by 4 members of Al Capone's gang here. This is the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. And what happened was 10:30 in the morning on February 14th, 1929, people that lived in these buildings, they saw 4 members get out of a car. 2 were dressed in Chicago police uniforms, which made it so disturbing in hindsight. And we still, to this day, it's an unsolved mystery. They never apprehended or charged anybody with the murders, and that leads to the conspiracy theorists that think that the police may have been involved. There were several police officers that had motivation to get back at Bugs Moran, because one of the police officers' sons was killed by Bugs Moran's gang. So the police may have been involved. We'll never be able to prove that. We'll leave it in the conspiracy theory realm of speculation. But we do know that 4 members of Al Capone's gang ended here. They were going to discuss a shipment of liquor from Detroit. And Bugs Moran may have stole it from Al Capone. He was trying to get it back. Whatever happened inside there, you can watch Some Like It Hot. You can watch that movie, the Angels of 50, whatever that Angels of 50, or Filthy Souls. There's several old black and white movies that tried to recreate. The actual wall where the 7 members were lined up was here. As I said in TikTok, you can go to the Mob Museum in Las Vegas, and people have messaged me. They've gone to that museum. They said it's kind of expensive, but you can go to the Mob Museum in Las Vegas. They recreated the wall. When they built this building, a Canadian guy bought the bricks, numbered them, and they went through succession areas of people that would collect stuff like that. It's probably the same people that collect John Wayne Gacy paintings, and ended up in the Mob Museum. But you see, the warehouse is gone. People across the street, they heard 70 rounds of Tommy gun, Thompson sub-automatic machine gun, the classic gun used in Prohibition-era Chicago violence. That weapon was created at the end of World War I because of trench warfare. They didn't really use it in World War I, and immediately the mob started using it in cities all over the country, and the police would have to use it too. And could inflict a horrible damage. And so 6 members of Bugs Moran's gang were really murdered against the wall, including the mechanic was the 7th. The mechanic had a dog called Highball. The dog survived, so Highball the dog survived. One of the members, when the police arrived, so what the people saw, they saw from their perspective after they heard the gunshots. People said they even heard it on the telephone wires, like the women working at the telephone company that would have, they would be the operator. They could hear the pops on the wire. They knew something was going on, like a telegraph. And people saw, from their perspective, they saw 2 policemen with 2 gangsters with their hands up come out, get in a car, and drive off. And they assumed that the police had apprehended 2 gangsters And then it took, of course, the police arrived because they went to investigate, and they discovered the grisly scene of 7 guys laying up against the wall, riddled with bullets. 70 bullets went through that window, or through the wall. One of the members was still alive. They tried to get information out. He wouldn't talk. He said, "Just get me to the hospital." He later died 3 hours later. And so it's still an unsolved mystery. The St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Here we are. And thanks for listening to the spiel. I hope this makes sense here. Everybody's like, what's this guy talking about? But it's such a classic. I mean, this, you know, besides that, this new building. We've walked back there. There's a ghost sign. You can walk in the alley. The untouchable tourists stop here, and they'll do the whole same spiel and probably give more information than I do. There was an antique store here called Stanley's, which is sadly gone. It was so nice. We've lost all our antique stores. There was an antique store at the Reedy Moving and Storage. It's gone. There was an antique store there. Just can't deal with eBay and the internet. But look at these classic. These buildings were here. These buildings were here. There's the Chicago Pizza and Oven Grinder, 2121 North Clark Street. It's a great Chicago style pizza. It's unique and different from the other ones. There's the Ricardo restaurant. They're on both sides of the street here. Even you know, this you can see why when they shot Public Enemies, which is about John Dillinger, they would use these areas of Chicago because all you have to do is change the cars and it looks like you're in the 1920s. And you know, hey Christopher, how you doing there? Thanks, Michael. Yeah, we're trying to bring history alive here. Thanks everybody. Thanks for tuning in here and listening to the spiel. We'll keep walking here. We'll hey, they got a Valentine's Day cake there. Yeah, you can go to Vanille Patisserie. They got all kinds of Valentine's. Happy Valentine's Day. And hope you're having a good one there. I didn't do a live on TikTok this morning because I could have, but I just, it was 1 degree and I was like, I'll take the morning off. It was nice. And it still flew by here. So here, Clark and Dickens. See, there's RJ Grunts. There's the cow that's on the roof there. These are beautiful buildings here. And here's Angry Octopus, home of Dickie C's. If this looks familiar, this building was used, if you ever heard of Perfect Strangers, there was a 1980 sitcom called Perfect Strangers with Larry and Balky Bartokomous from Greece. You know, Cousin Larry, get out of the city. They used this building as their apartment in the TV sitcom, the 1980 sitcom. So there's all kinds of interesting. See, historic apartments. It's called the Pelham. The Pelham on Dickens. That's what this is called. So here we'll tootle around. Look at that. Look at those beautiful windows. A little courtyard there. That's okay, Chris. Yeah, you didn't miss anything. Hey, Chris, isn't Peace of Lisa great? I saw Peace of Lisa sent you some care package there because what a nice person there. And if Lisa, if you're watching there, that is awesome. Thanks for thinking of Chris. And here, we'll just head down the street here and let's go over to Oz Park. We'll check out Oz Park. I'll show you the John Kearney statues, which we've seen many times before, but I don't know if I got them on YouTube. See, look, just classic 1890s. And then in the 1920s, this is exactly what this street would have looked like. The trees might have been not here. We talk about that on You Should Eat Jen's channel. With these trees are nice, but they weren't always here. And yeah, Balky. He's from Mypos. I think Mypos was an island in the Mediterranean. And excuse me, I maybe I'm wrong about that. I thought it was like part of the Greek culture, but maybe it was part of like Cyprus or Malta or something. But yeah, Balky Bartokomous, he was from Mypos. Yeah, it was an island. And I always assumed, because Greece has so many islands, I always assumed it was a Greek island. Was I wrong about that? Larry Appleton was from like Wisconsin. He was like me. He grew up outside of Chicago and came to Chicago to live in the city. And that's how he got stuck with his cousin there. That's good. I thought that Teresa B. Thanks for the information, dude. It was a fictional island, but it was supposed to be Greece. That's good. So here, look, there's look at that tourist, got the hat on it like Jen talks about. This is a beautiful street. Of course, the Bavarian gingerbread house is over here. Yeah, let's head up to Webster. We'll go by the. I don't know if I've ever showed YouTube the what I call the psychedelic Barbie house, this beautiful Victorian house here, which we go by all the time. See, I'm just doing easy stuff. I'm just staying close to home here. I'm going to go back to work. Look at this. It says Hotel Story. I wonder if that was a hotel. Maybe Jen and I need to look into that. Now it's an apartment building. The building I live in, a similar story. It used to be a hotel, and then they changed it to one-bedroom studio apartments. And we were on St. James Place earlier this week. That St. James building used to be a hotel, and now it's a bunch of studio one-bedroom apartments. But this is Sedgwick Street, Lincoln Park, Chicago. 22 degrees here. Happy Valentine's Day. Mid-North District, called the Mid-North Historic District. I got to cross the street here because, well, I'll show you the sign, then we'll cross the street. See, Chicago Landmark District is a historic district. You see how it's in between Lincoln, Clark, goes up to Fullerton. And that's all these beautiful buildings that we walk around, these Italianate, all these Renaissance Revival styles, amazing cornices. And we're about 3 miles north of the loop here. Yeah, trip back in time. That's why, yeah, it's free to walk down the street. You can go here, just like those people taking pictures. You can stop and take your own picture there at the real historic site. Impress your friends. I love these window bays. That's why I crossed the street. Look at these window bays here on Sedgwick Street, Lincoln Park, Chicago. I'm glad I got my gimbal working now, so we got a steady shot. Nice stoops. See, you can sit in those windows, look both ways down the street. Allows a lot of light into your front room. And it's just like, for some reason, they were able to create these beautiful human scale developments that we can't like build like this anymore, you know? We can, it's just people don't. And it was this whole pattern language. Kunstler talks, is a writer, his name is Kunstler. He wrote the Geography of Nowhere. A lot of new urbanists seized upon that book because it's like we lost something of how to design cities. Simple things like porches. There's a formality to, you go up the stairs, you can knock on the door, you can be on somebody's property but not inside. And you know, all these nooks and crannies, use the space underneath the stairs. Everything's used. Everything's, you know, nothing goes to waste. Even your roof is used for a rooftop. There's the, I affectionately call this, because I like it, I call it the psychedelic Barbie house. And the reason I call it that, it's a Victorian house, kind of combined with Italianate elements. Look at the beautiful pastel color scheme, and it matches the fencing. At night, they light this up with like red, green, purple lights, which make it look very psychedelic to me, especially when it hits those pastel colors. Maybe I've done too many myself. I think that's probably the problem. I'm like King Kesey. But look at that. There's the beautiful, and in 1988 they had a contest for the best of the painted ladies in Chicago. There's not a lot of Victorian houses in Chicago, but there's a few, and this won the contest. I don't know if they've had the contest since. And you know, it's up there with the Bavarian gingerbread house and the Douay's house, which is the Baroque. It's not Victorian, different architecture. And see, they got the John Kearney statues. You see the snow on the John Kearney statue. They got a giraffe, and they got a horse back there. Hey, happy Valentine's Day, Nelius. Hey, and Alvin, thanks for tuning in here. Yeah, that's great. Happy Valentine's Day, Alvin. Thanks for tuning in. That's awesome. Yeah, so I didn't do a live this morning because I wimped out. I could have, you know, I walked in 0-degree weather for Fahrenheit. It was like negative, what's 0 in Celsius? Negative 15? I don't know, negative 10. Here's the, look at that porch. And look, you know, if I back up here, let's see if we can get the whole thing in here. I just love it. You know, for years I've been walking past this thing. I just love it. If I was a ghost, I would haunt this place. I always joke that. Here, let me get behind here. I don't want to fall off the, there we go. There, we can get the whole thing in there. Look at that. That's a beautiful home there. I'm glad you've seen this, Nelis. Hey, Sedgwick Street, Lincoln Park, Chicago. We'll keep on trucking here. We'll go down Webster. We got 12:30, so we got just enough time to go over to, we'll go over to Oz Park. Check out the, see, those were 2 John Kearney statues. We'll see some more in Oz Park. And then we'll just probably go up Lincoln. I don't know if I got time to get to the Biograph. Maybe I should combine the Biograph with the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. I don't know if I could fit them both into the same live stream here. Yeah, I'll be at Casper. I'll be Casper the friendly ghost. I'll be live streaming as a ghost. I'll be haunting the internet. I want to live on the internet as a ghost. I'll be like the ghost in the machine. Isn't there, yeah. And look how there's a brick alley here. So this is Webster Street. Look how you can look down this brick alley. You can look all the way back to the Sears Tower there. There it is. 3.5 miles south of us. Yeah, happy vacation day. I wish I got Valentine's Day off. In theory, I'm working from home, but I'm on my lunch break here. Look at these beautiful porches. 400 block of Webster. Look at those. It's got the dogs. I think they decorate for Halloween so nice there and Christmas. Those buildings there. So here, and this is such a great group here. This is such a beautiful group of Italianate. Almost like it looks like it's in Manhattan or Philadelphia, you know, and it's probably built again. These were built after the Great Chicago Fire because there's only a few buildings up here that survived, and I don't think these did, but they probably built them. They might have built them back what they looked like before the Great Chicago Fire. They did that downtown. They would just like build back what it looked like before. And look at the beautiful Italianate. These are single-family residential townhomes, 4 stories tall. On Webster Street, we're by Cleveland here. Clouds and harps. Yeah, I mean, I think the same thing. I thought that as a kid about heaven. I'm like, what do people get bored? I would bring up all these questions to my parents about heaven, and they would be like, shut up, don't ask these questions, it'll all be worked out. I'm like, what if somebody has multiple wives and children with different people, and they get to heaven, would there be like drama, like, will people still be married in heaven? They're like, nobody's thought about that. Everybody will be so happy that they won't even be worried about it. I'm like, well, I don't know. What if somebody died in a horrible car wreck, and then the person that caused the wreck's in heaven with you? I guess you get over it because you're both in heaven. But, I guess all these petty human dramas will just... And you're not supposed to think about that way. I know I'm thinking about it too much, And what if you get to heaven and somebody you're really looking for and you can't find them there? You're like, oh, man, they didn't make it. What if it's your family member? You're like, oh, there's... Uncle Brian didn't make it to heaven there, Well, we won't talk about him anymore. He's there burning in hell. Here's, look, here's Cleveland Street. Yeah. The reason we talk about ghosts is on TikTok, there's a lot of people that think everything's haunted. They think, I filmed the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. People thought they saw stuff in the trees. We filmed the Congress Hotel. There's all those stories about the Congress Hotel being haunted. People like to tell stories. People like to be scared. People like to mystery. We're living in the post-truth world. People would rather believe a myth than to believe the truth. Like, they come these crazy conspiracy theories trying to explain the JFK assassination. It's just, people speculate. There's a lot of money to be made off of ghosts. So ghosts will exist as long as there's money to be made selling stories about ghosts or movies or books. Brainwashed. We're all brainwashed. It's all good marketing. So this used to be the Grand Hospital. That the structure of this building was like this when it was a hospital. They removed it. And did they tear it down and build this? I don't know if I think they just changed the exterior. And you see that used to look like that. They think they still got offices there, but this is converted. It was converted from a hospital to residential, and it has amazing views from the top. And the same thing happened to the Children's Hospital. It got converted from a hospital to 2 residential towers, and we might see that here in a little bit. Visiting a medium. There you go. See, have you ever contacted the other side there? That's why people go to mediums. You can contact and communicate with people from the great beyond there, It's kind of freaky. Like the Ouija board's part of that, I think. This is the Target here. This used to be like, it was called Mrs. Green or Mr. Green, Mrs. Green. It was like a market, and then Target took it over because the original Green Market didn't make it. But here we'll cross. There's a 6-way intersection here. We're by Oz Park. It should look nice in the snow. They've still been lighting up this Christmas tree, even though we're already into February. They got these nice little signs here for Lincoln Park. So this is heart of Lincoln Park. This is Lincoln Avenue. This is a lot of the Paul bars are there. See, the downtown's that way. That's looking towards the Lincoln Hotel. This is Lorby. Lorby becomes Geneva Terrace. And this is Oz Park here, so we'll cross. We'll check out the John Kearney statue, the Tin Man here. And then we'll walk up this nice commercial strip here on Lincoln. So I'm just tooling around Friday here. Happy Valentine's Day. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to Chicago. We got 22 degrees. Welcome to Oz Park. Here we got the Tin Man. John Kearney was known for making animalistic sculptures out of chrome bumper parts like the giraffe and horse we saw at the Psychedelic Barbie House. But then this is the Tin Man, which is perfect. The Tin Man's perfect for chrome bumper parts. There he's got his axe. There he's got his heart. See? Frank Baum. And the reason this is here, when Frank Baum wrote The Wizard of Oz, I think he lived in Humboldt Park. But he wasn't from Chicago, and he didn't stay in Chicago, but he was here when he wrote the Wizard of Oz books. There's some Frank Baum stuff in Humboldt Park, and then they named this park Oz Park when they made it in the 1970s, because it's north of the Lincoln Park High School. And it's Webster and Lorby here, Oz Park. And so there's some infill housing. There's a lot of infill housing on Lorby. There's not really much historic housing on Lorby because it was tore down during the urban renewal period. And see, they got Halsteads over that way, Lincoln Park High School. Jack Holey played him. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not equipped for a deep conversation on ghosts there. You guys are beyond my experience there, but hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome to Chicago here. Let's check out the Scarecrow here. Here's the Scarecrow in Oz Park here. It looks nice in the snow. This again is a John Kearney statue, but this one's made out of bronze. You know, this is made out of bronze instead of chrome. And the other three, the Dorothy and the Cowardly Lion, are all made out of bronze here. But here's the Scarecrow. See how close it is to the Tin Man there. There's the Tin Man. Oz Park. So here, let's keep on through. So I guess they're getting out of the school here. There's the Lincoln Park High School's over here. Hey, he's got his diploma there. Look, he's got a brain. If I only had a brain. Yogesh, how you doing here? Look at the snow here. We're in Oz Park. You ever heard of the Wizard of Oz movie or book? Frank Baum briefly lived in Chicago, and we got a park named after him. So we're filming some of the Wizard of Oz statues. There's the Scarecrow, and then the Tin Man's behind that tree there. There's the Tin Man there. And so let's go check out Dorothy. Dorothy's over here, and there you can see the Sears Tower off in the distance there. So I'm not downtown. Usually at lunchtime I walk downtown, but I'm working from home today because it was really cold this morning. And then we'll ease into the weekend here. 56 years? Wow. Yeah, if I only had a brain. MBT, how you doing there? Yeah, it's a dream place. Thank you. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. And you and everybody else there. Yeah. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Yeah, we already checked out the St. Valentine's Day Massacre site. I know that's kind of a gruesome thing for me to lay on everybody, but you know me. I walk past that all year, and every year I'm like, well, wait till Valentine's Day. I'll probably do it again tonight on TikTok. People like Al Capone, or they like hearing about Al Capone history. They're fascinated by it. Here's the, some people. Here's the playground. They just replaced this. Remember, they worked on it for a year or so. There was an older playground, and they had to tear it out because it was AstroTurf, and there was a rat infestation. Don't tell people that. But they got that under control, and they built this new, better playground. It's called, look, it's Emerald City. I think they call it Dorothy's Playground, and it's named after a teacher named Dorothy, not the Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz. See, it's called Dorothy's Playground here, Oz Park. And it's well used. It's well used. They got these, just not now because it's cold and it's wintertime. Look, they got a little climbing wall. See, they got the You can put your face in the characters for Oz Park. Welcome to Oz Park there. And then they got a climbing wall. They got the Witch's Castle. Look at this fun stuff. Emerald City. Yeah. And picnic tables, water fountain. There's baseball fields, basketball courts. Again, the Lincoln Park High School's over there. They got tennis courts, pickleball courts. You see how it connects with the neighborhood here. This is all high-end luxury residential housing. That's a multi-million-dollar single-family residence that was built after I moved to the city. Some of the historic stuff here. Here's, yeah, unfortunately we won't get down to see the Cowardly Lion. I'm not going to walk. It's way at the other end. We show that every once in a while. For some reason, the Cowardly Lion's way at the other end of the park. But here's Dorothy and Toto. Yeah, there's Dorothy with Toto, and I'll get you and your little dog too. People often say they need to have the Wicked Witch and the Wizard as well. Why they're at, they might as well have the whole Munchkin Village there. They could really go to town. People said they should paint the sidewalks yellow, or yellow brick road. Dorothy and Toto became citizens of Oz Park May 2007. There's people that donated money. They could have Glinda the Witch, the Good Witch. But there's Toto and Dorothy in her basket here, Oz Park. Look how nice it looks with the snow. So here, let's head across the street. Let's check out this housing here. Yeah, and Toto too. Yeah, they got Toto. There's Toto. See, there's the dog. See it? Yeah. And the bone. Yeah, but here, we'll cross the street here if we can. Thank you. Cross Webster and Orchard. This is Orchard. Orchard keeps on going on the other side of the park by the Lincoln Park High School. And here, let's head up Orchard here. There's beautiful housing here. We can connect up to Lincoln here. Hey, 12:43. So I'm going to try and make a beeline for the Biograph Theater. We filmed it before, but then I'll do a quick little spiel on John Dillinger. It'll complement, if people watch this whole thing, starting with the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, they can see how close these two sites are. So if you take the brown line or the red line or the purple line to the Fullerton stop and walk over, instead of going to the Paul, you go towards the lake. You can check out these sites on your own if you want. And hey, Scott, Daniel, thanks everybody for tuning in here. Yeah, we're just head up Orchard Street. We'll head straight up to Lincoln. And look at this beautiful house. See, this is a beautiful house here. Look how nice it looks in the snow. These are like the workmen's cottages that were built in that brief period after the Great Chicago Fire, 1871 to 1875, before they increased the building standards to make every house brick. See how it has a nice wide lot. It has side yards. Look at this beautiful, I don't know if this is a workman's cottage or just a Queen Anne Victorian style house here in Chicago, a small one. And this was just been like a middle class family's house back in the 1800s. Now it's a multi-million-dollar mansion just by the value of the land. And unfortunately, some of these have been torn down, not recently, but years ago, to build giant McMansions or parking lots. Like that would happen, you know. And see, this is infill. This was built much more recently, and that was mid-century moderns. There's the bubble windows. That was probably built in the 70s. Look at that. Hey, thanks for sticking on here. Thanks for. Look, that is a nice. Look at this building. I got to research this building. Look at that. It's got the It's got the gable, and very nice brick detailing there. Look at that. All that different texture. You got stone, brick, two different types of brick. Then you got the shingles on the roof, and all the gables and the dormers. And then look at this beautiful building here. And then these are, see how they built these in a neo-traditional style here. These were built after the 2000s. And so we'll head over to Lincoln here. Hey, John James. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Toto's real name was Terry. Lived to be 11. Hey, so the real Toto was named Terry. That's amazing. Thanks for the good info. See, it's a good, that's about the dog that was used in the Wizard of Oz movie there. See? Important stuff. So here's another six-way intersection. Here's Lincoln, Orchard, and Belton. There's Halligan's. Some people tuning in there, they have their children work there as bartenders. They told me that. And this is Cilantro. This used to be Chipotle, but Chipotle moved the block that way. It is a nice taco grill as well. And see, this is that. There's a nice commercial strip here on Lincoln. There's a lot of nice bars and theaters there. There's a green light theater, and then Halligan's, this beautiful triangle building, the Soloway Cafe. There's the Bad Apple. That used to be John Barleycorn's, but now it's the Bad Apple. And this right here, this used to be the Children's Hospital, but now it's housing. They completely tore down the Children's Hospital, moved downtown to Streeterville. Here's Johnny's. This has got beef and gyros. They get you hot dogs and hamburgers and gyros, velvet taco. But look at this luxury condo housing. There's 2 towers, and they saved the parking garage. We'll walk right by it here. So we'll head up Lincoln here. You're coming for St. Pat's? That's good. Yeah, come to Chicago for St. Pat's. Here's all the neighborhoods. Here's a neighborhood map of Chicago, the patchwork quilt of neighborhoods. See, we're in Lincoln Park. We're up here. Here's all the areas we walk through: the Old Town, the Gold Coast, Near North, River North, Sheffield Neighbors, Park West, Lakeview East. We were down in Chinatown, Bridgeport, Bronzeville, Pilsen, West Side, South Side. Here's yeah, the Green River. Check out the Green River. That's such a good time. Hopefully the weather will be nice. Yeah, we'll try to cover it as much as we can here. Moti. So they saved this parking garage. We went up to the top once. The security freaks out when I go up there, because if I show people what the beautiful view is up there, they know a bunch of skateboarders and young punks like me will go up there and won't leave. So they don't want people partying on the top of that garage. But it's beautiful up there. It's a beautiful view to the skyline. We've gone up there before. I might do it again. There's the L train. It's way off in the distance. The L train's crossing Lincoln there, so we'll do the same thing. We'll head right up there. So, there's somebody coming out of the parking garage here. See how they got this nice trellis here? They program this. Sometimes they have little things there in the summertime. And there's yeah, hour away. Come downtown. And it stays. You don't have to come down the actual day they die, which is usually the Saturday before St. Patrick's Day. If you come down the following Sunday, the day after they dye it green, it'll be less crowded and it'll still be green. And you could take a water taxi like Jay, City Walking Girl, did, and you can take a yellow water taxi ride in the Green River. You get some nice, beautiful skyline shots of views, pictures. So this used to be the power plant for the Children's Museum. They kept it. See, it's a sweet green here. They kept some of this stuff, but then they replaced this house. They built this housing here. We're walking up Lincoln. See, there's some of the views you get if you go on the top of that parking garage. That's the view to the skyline. I got reruns where you could see it. That was like 2 years ago. Those kids were following me, and they were like filming me like from far away, and I went over and they ran away. They ran away from me. It was so funny. They ran back down in the elevator. I was gonna get them. Here, got Reeb Nawal's Pakistani Indian restaurant here, right on. Hey, people are getting their Valentine's Day lunch here. So here's the new Raising Cane's. Let's check out this Raising Cane's. I'll be able to cut this out. So I guess Raising Cane's is expanding all over the nation. They're building new. It's a chicken store here, Raising Cane's chicken fingers. They just specialize in chicken fingers pretty much, and their sauce. They got some sandwiches. Seems to be pretty popular. So they've opened a new store here. So let's check it out here. I tried to go inside here earlier. It wasn't open. So here, let's check out 2376. This beautiful building here. The six-way intersection of Fullerton, Lincoln, and Halstead. This is Halstead. See, smile, you're on camera. I should put that on my lives here. Look at the line. Wow. Look at the line at Raising Cane's here. Let's check it out. Look at this, Raising Cane's. There it is. Look how packed it is here. Smells great. There you go. There's the dog. Hey, look at this cute dog. Yeah. So, here, I'll stay on this side here. So, Raising Cane's. Pretty packed. I like their sauce too. Yeah, their sauce is pretty good. So I'm not even going to acknowledge random 741. If that continues, feel free to block that. This is not the place for that. There's plenty other places you can find love online. If you're looking for love in all the wrong places there, good luck to you. I wish you the best. You're looking for love in all the wrong places. This is not a hookup channel. Hey, Lincoln Park, so here's where we're at. Paul University. Here, let's cross the street. So they built this a few years ago. This used to be a park. There used to be a park there. And I always thought, I didn't realize it wasn't a public park. It was a private park owned by, there was like a medical facility. So they sold it. They built this housing here. Looks like a Wells Fargo bank's going to open in the bottom. So at least there's a Fifth Third Bank here. And here we'll go film the Biograph Theater here. So here's a Chipotle. So this used to be McDonald's. Now it's Chipotle. Yeah, it's basic chicken. It's just chicken strips with the sauce. It's fast food, you know. It's it's fine. It's a good option. You see how popular it is, but you know, it's like Chick-fil-A or anything else. You know, burger joints. You can go to Taquito Street here, but here, the Biograph Theater. So we already did the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Here we are north of Fullerton on Lincoln. This is the Biograph Theater. This is where John Dillinger met his end in 1934. The St. Valentine's Day Massacre happened in 1929. 5 years later, this is where John Dillinger, he came out of there, ran in that alley, and that's where they killed him, the G-men. And look at this alley. Got the nice mural here. This is called Lincoln Hall. It's a music venue. And there's the Biograph Theater. I've seen movies in there. I don't know what's going on there now. It's the Chicago International Puppet Festival. I think that's left over. I don't think anything's going on there. I don't think it's been used in a while. And see, there's the mural to John Dillinger down that alley. Won it. We've walked down that many times. And here we'll cross the street here. See, Lincoln Station, they had a fire there 2 years ago or a year and a half ago. And unfortunately, a Chicago firefighter lost his life there. And I used to see Paul there. Pool there. There's also the Red Lion pubs right up there. I'll cross the street to show you this, and then we'll just head back here. We got 1254. Yeah, I better start heading back to my place here. But yeah, this is where in 1934 the G-men lured John Dillinger. If he wouldn't have came back to Chicago, none of this would have happened. He would have stayed out of Chicago. But he watched the Public Enemy movie with Johnny Depp. He came here with his two female companions. He saw a Clark Gable movie. They marked the seat, the seat where he sat in for years was marked the last seat that he sat in. He came out, it was summertime. There was a crowd out here because of movie theater. He noticed the G-men, so he quickened his step. He went here, he grabbed for his gun, he dodged in this alley. They were behind him. When he grabbed for his gun, they shot him in the back. The fatal bullet came out of his eye. And there's John Dillinger, infamous bank robber. Movies were made about him, legends. He was kind of a Robin Hood figure during the Great Depression because he would go on radio stations and they're like, John, why do you rob banks? He's like, well, that's where the money is. But other people said that too. It was actually attributed to another bank robber, but it's also attributed to him. If you take the Untouchable tours, they'll tell you all about it. Here, there's usually people. Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Christopher Dobson. Thanks, Christopher. I missed that. Thanks, Christopher, so much for the gift there. And thanks, everybody, for watching Christopher Dodson's content. He's a great live streamer. I apologize, Christopher. I don't watch as much content as I should because, as you know, it's the same way. Usually we're streaming. I really appreciate you take the time to tune into my stuff here. And thanks for the gift. And thanks to everybody that follows Christopher Dodson there. He's part of the Lunch Bunch. And I want to promote our fellow live streamers, not just in Chicago, but New York City and wherever else you stream there. Good quality content there. So thanks everybody. And big story on the actual day. Yeah, we went and did the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. And we'll do it again tonight on TikTok. Here we're crossing Halstead. And Halstead goes up to Boys Town, goes down to Greektown, Bridgeport South Side, Englewood that way. And we're in Lincoln Park here. We'll just head down Fullerton past the beautiful housing here on Fullerton. This is part of the Mid-North Historic District. And see that beautiful building? It just keeps something in that building. Something's better than nothing. Same with even the bank, and there's a, they use this for a health club for this facility here, or this housing. Shout out for the Motor City, Detroit Rock City. See, and Detroit's connected to the St. Valentine's Day Massacre because that's where they were talking about. There was the Purple Gang in Detroit that I guess they were, I don't know if they were associated with Al Capone or Bugs Moran, but they would take liquor from Windsor, from Canada, smuggle it into Detroit, and then they would try to truck it to Chicago. And that was the prohibition, the supply chains there. Here's the Dilly Lily. Hey, here's the bourgeois pig here. Let's see if this, I need to go in here more often. See how everybody's sitting in here? As soon as I look, they're not going to want me filming here. He's a bunch of bohemians and intellectuals. But it's such a beautiful, you know, if you go in here, I'll just try to peek in the door. I don't want to disturb these people eating. If you go upstairs, they have a speakeasy. Look, gas, speak gas. This is the, oh, we got to use this door here. So you can go upstairs. Look at the ceiling, tin ceiling here. See this beautiful place here. They got Lincoln. There's Lincoln. Honest Abe. See, look, yeah, if you go up, let's see what this looks like up here. We're still streaming. So we're in the bourgeois pig here. I think this turns into a speakeasy in the evenings. You got to answer a riddle. Look at these old paintings they got here. And they have books. They actually have books. You got a skylight. So the bourgeois pig, yeah, you can hang out here, sit upstairs. It's a great place to work. Like if you bring your laptop, you get a coffee, sit here. To me, it's better than Starbucks. Look, you can sit here. They got all the look at this old stove. And then you could, in the summertime, you could sit out here on the. A lot of people sit outside here. You walk by on Fullerton, you'll see they got the Eiffel Tower, they got the lights, they got the wood. I guess they use that for the fireplace. The bourgeois pig here, I think it's pretty popular here. Isn't that great? Okay, let's keep on going. Let's keep on going here. Yeah, I'm missing all the comments. People making jokes. I get jokes. Was it streaming okay? Was I streaming okay when I ended? Did I cut out at all? I couldn't tell if I was still streaming or not when we went inside that place. Sometimes the thick walls we cut out there. Here, we'll just go down Fullerton here. And there's beautiful housing all along here. Hey, the mail. So believe it or not, they tore this building completely down and then they replaced it. That's why the brick looks so new. It used to be, it was the same scale and size when it was part of the Columbus, or the Children's Hospital. Now it's a senior living facility here. That's why they got the drop off here. It's called Belmont Village Senior Living. Right here on Fullerton. Nice stream, good. No bump at all. Hey, wasn't it beautiful inside there? I'm glad you saw that, you know. And so, you know, if you don't like Raising Cane's, here's Planned Parenthood. They're going to hit me up for money. Let's see if we can make it through here. Here, we'll, I might cross the street here. Let's see, how's it going here? So, here's Orchard Street again. We walked up there earlier in the week when it was snowing. We went and checked out the beautiful housing there. Look at this beautiful church here. It's called St. Paul's. And look, with the snow, this beautiful block stretch here is part of the Mid-North Historic District. Fullerton, if you're in between Halsted and Clark Street on Fullerton, is this beautiful stretch of residential townhomes and detached single-family dwellings. And there's some apartment buildings too, like this. But it's such a walkable human scale with the trees. There's a lot of traffic because Fullerton's a major east-west artery, but if you can deal with the traffic and the lack of parking spots, I would love to live on this street, you know, in one of these beautiful, you know, you get an apartment with a balcony. There's some really nice balconies over here, but look at these beautiful buildings all along here. Hey, Taco, happy Valentine's Day there, Scott. Yeah. Good. Good. It's getting better. Hopefully, yeah, hopefully we're getting better all the time. We're trying to work out the glitches. Thanks for dealing with my technical difficulties, which we'll still have. Thanks for your patience and the feedback. And I'll try not to lose it when I get frustrated. Here's the these beautiful red brick. Look at the terracotta. All this detail. You know, J City Walking Girl films this. You Should Eat films this. All throughout the city. And look at that. These, you know, just the detail. Look at that brick detail up there. They bricked up those windows. I bet you there was windows at one time. It probably got so hot up there they got rid of it. But look at the curves, the turrets. These are all multi-million dollars as you would expect, but they usually, like that one has a unicorn in the window. That unicorn's always there. They decorate nice for the holidays and Halloween. Look at the door. Look at this door. Look at that door with that knocker. And then the terracotta pieces there, the glass, the round glass. That's very expensive fixtures there, you know. And look at that. See how it's a mirror image there. It's a duplex. You go to one side to the other. It's mirrored. They share walls. And then they got the zebra in there. Fullerton Street, Lincoln Park, Chicago. This is why this is so expensive and gentrified. You can find stuff like this in Southside too. You go to Hyde Park in Kenwood. And then there's a few blocks on the west side of Chicago, Jackson Street. We've gone down there. They get these beautiful, and if you go further towards East Garfield Park, there's some blocks, but not as extravagant as this. This like takes the cake. These beautiful, these were all built in the 1888 to 1892, like right in that period. It was all built at once. You know, imagine that. So much capital built up. You know, right leading up to the World's Columbian Exposition. Look at the, and again, this church used to have a spire. It was hit by lightning. Maybe like in the 1950s or 1960s, it burnt down and they just never replaced it. They do a lot of outreach for the unhoused and help people out and shelter. Here's the Lincoln Park Presbyterian here. What a beautiful dog. How you doing there? Thanks for tuning in. Yeah. Yeah, happy Valentine's Day to the Lunch Bunch. Geneva Terrace in Fullerton. Yeah, that's an interesting street. So that becomes Lorby. That takes you right back down to Oxford. This is what I'm talking about. You can still rent. You don't have to buy. You get 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms. You get these beautiful balconies, very deep balconies. People hang their plants there, and you know, townhomes here. Looks nice in the snow, doesn't it? Nice knockers. Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Michael. Thanks to you and everybody else. Thanks for making this possible. So we're going to enjoy the rest of the day. I hope you have a nice Valentine's Day. I'll start wrapping this up because we're getting close. I'll get us down to Clark Street. I'll get us down to the Five Guys. So we still got another whole block. I want to show you this new development there. Where the Cynical used to be, it was an order of the Sisters for the Catholics there ran it. And it was this 1960s style modernist building. They sold it and they tore it down, and now they're building new single-family residential in Cleveland, but they're building multifamily. I don't know if it's going to be luxury rental or what it's going to be, condos. They're building some multifamily here in this gap, and so it'll stitch up the hole in the urban fabric that's left from them tearing down the Cynical. But here we're still on Fullerton here. Here's another nice church here, and they're building a. This is the Church of Our Savior. They're building a new community center here. You can kind of see it in the back. So there's still construction going on. See, you got these nice apartment courtyard buildings right off of Fullerton. See, they're building a new parish center. You can see it in the back there. You can learn more about Church of Our Savior here. Coming soon. Yeah, you see back there, they're working on it. We'll get it once we get past this Norcon. There's the new construction here, 519 Fullerton. So look at all these construction sites I get to film. We get to film the progress of all. They're building a new community center back there. I guess they'll still be parking on the side here. Here, look at this. They're building 519 West Fullerton. They're building that 1, 2, 3, 4 stories. It's going to be an 8-unit luxury elevator building, 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, private outdoor. So I wonder if it's going to be condos. But look, this is what the street will look like. They're going to build nice apartment condo buildings that'll front here. They'll fill in this gap, and we'll keep you up to date on this thing. I'm excited about it. We have some new neighbors here living near to where I live here, and see how you can see. Let me get right past here. There you can see the tip top of the Sears Tower, which is 3.5 miles south of us, all the way up here at Fullerton. Yeah, thanks Doreen. Thanks Brian Oman. Yeah, nice amount of snow. We got about 2 to 3 inches. We might get more tonight, but I think tomorrow, what are they calling for? Are we supposed to get another dump? I need to check the weather there. So I'll do my best to stream tonight on TikTok, my usual time. We'll walk up into Lakeview, might go up to Southport, and then we'll ease into the weekend. See how much snow we get. I might stream if we get some more snow on Saturday. See if the pond freezes over, but I don't know. The weather's going to be up and down, kind of cold. So look at this building. Super. Look at that detail here. And see, look at the contrast, the 1960s stuff with the 1920s stuff. And then there's Cleveland. There's where we start and begin our lives. Usually when I walk into work for TikTok. So see, we come full circle here. So hey, 108, I've gone a little too far. Here's Clark Street. Look at these beautiful buildings here. That's a Mies van der Rohe building. That's those beautiful buildings on Fullerton, east of Clark Street. Yeah, I'll show you the facade of this building. The facade of this building is amazing. It's Art Deco. It was built in 1929. And there was more buildings planned like this, but they didn't go through with them because of the Great Depression. This was built in the 1970s, this modernist. That stuff was built in the 20s. This was built in the early 1920s. And then they got this stuff with the white glazed brick. This was built in the 1910s, around World War I. 5 guys. You see how these two mirror each other? They got the little green cornice there. Look at that, rooted. Look at that green glazed brick there. 5 guys. Yeah. Hey, thanks Krista. Thanks Scott and everybody. Yeah, check that out. I want to cut that out of the Bourgeois Pig there, that nice cafe. And here's Clark Street. Yeah, we go up here often. I just want to show this building here as we get run over by the UPS. There's no left turns on Clark Street, but all throughout the day you hear horns of people making left turns because no one sees that sign and they want to make a left turn. So there, look at this great view. You get to the John Hancock, looking down Clark Street here, crossing. This is Fullerton at Clark, and look at this detail. Look at these Art Deco terracotta pieces or panels. They're like concrete panels that they poured and affixed to this building. And this is 415 Fullerton, Clark and Fullerton here. Look at these panels. Look how nice that looks. Yeah, horns all day long. It's so funny, the UPS and stuff, they all double park and park on the sidewalk. But look here, look how you can see. Look, these are the patricians. There's these are all apartment blocks. Look at that art. This is 18 stories tall, straight up from the lot line, no setbacks. 17 stories tall. You know, and then look at these. Look at those panels. They kind of repeat, but they're all a little different, and they go all the way up the top. And look at even the top. They got amazing detail way up there at the top. And this is a Clark and Fullerton, Lincoln Park, Chicago. We'll end it here. This is an interesting building too here. Look at that. See, no left on the Clark. Wrigley Field, 1 3/4. And then when people make a left, people lay on the horn because it backs up here, and then they start peeling out. Look at these fire escapes. Look at those amazing fire escapes. I've seen people stop, and when the light hits this different, they take pictures of this because it creates these amazing shadows on the sides of these co-op buildings here. So this is Fullerton, between Lakeview and Lincoln Park. So thanks everybody. Yeah, love and care. Thanks everybody. Thanks my mods. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Happy Valentine's Day. Thanks for listening to it here. See, no left turn. Go to Wrigley Field. 1 3/4. Thanks. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you tonight on TikTok. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Yeah. All right.